Hi guys, hello, welcome, всем привет. My name is DJ Uzo and I am welcoming you all to this beautiful interview and an experience that I have prepared for you today as we're doing an interview for We Together with Technology Group, which is a general representative of Function One brand in Ukraine. My name is Uzo and I'm a professional DJ, designer, business consultant, artist, and a community activist who has spent 4 years of studying Chicago house music scene. And I was also building Uber technologies during that time while I was living in Chicago. As a professional DJ and an event producer, I had an honor to leave my trace on the history of the world by leaving my voice and input in regards to music as I made impacts on cultural development with Mala National, Library of Congress, Voice of America, Museum of African American History and Culture, and the White House. I had a blessing to meet and be a part of history while playing alongside some of the greatest legends of house music such as Terry Hunter, Paul Johnson, Jesse Saunders, Mark Farina, Julius TheMad Thinker, Gene Farris, DJ Madrid, and more. And during the commemorations of Frankie Knuckles' life, I had an opportunity to meet almost all of house legends in Chicago in 2015. And that moment to me was priceless because I will forever remember that boiler room session that was back to back at Gramaphone Records and SmartBar, and that was one of the most amazing experiences and the blessings that I could live through while living in Chicago. The first question that we have in this beautiful interview is, what is Chicago in the 80s and why was the place where such music and culture appeared? Chicago in the 80s was in the middle of ever-growing industrial and technological process. It allowed for an opportunity of DJs who were up and coming to create and fold their careers by being pioneers of the new sound wave that picked up the global exposure via British radio channels and included the likes of the DJs such as Pete Tong, Carl Cox, and Paul Oakenfold, just to name a few. And house music was a unifier in the underground music scene for all those who were interested in finding an escape and hedonism of their life without judgment or any prejudice. Because under house, we're all pure and we're all there for just one purpose. It's house music. So the sound of Chicago house music has developed over time as the classic disco music sound that was remixed, sampled, and modified and cultivated into a new immersive experience for the music lovers. It was an escape from the reality of the real life, as during the time of period in the history of United States and Chicago, specifically, after hour parties and events were just starting to pop up, and some of the notorious places are the warehouse or the music box. The sound is heavily influenced and molded by the likes of and the aficionados of taste such as Frankie Knuckles, the chosen few DJs, and record shop owners, for example, such as Michael Serafini, who is until today even continues to share the love of house music and other genres in their eclectic taste at Gramophone Records and the beautiful events that they host at SmartBar. Club owners also were the ones who saw the light and the bright essence of house music. They understood the power and the influence that it was bringing. The sound has created the sense of community and culture and unity as we are all free when we dance together and let our thoughts go. DJ was the director of your mood and your essence, whether it was an enjoyable trip or a real life escape. The energies of the legendary DJs just intelligently curated your mind throughout the whole night. Question number 2. What is the phenomenon of Chicago house music sound? What is house music if we break it down? It's a beat set of 4/4, soulful vocals, and the groovy disco melody. House music is an influence that came from the 70s era, and in the words of Niles Rodgers, a famous musician and a producer, music is a reflection of culture. It shows what's happening out there in the world, and during this time, a lot of political activism was happening in the United States. This included, and the history repeats itself, women's LGBT communities and African American activist communities who were connected through house music. This was the beauty that is still embedded and drives through the force of the powerful Chicago house music sound. The beauty of Chicago's sound is the fact that it's the true definition that it explains what is deep and underground. So deep, also known as deep house, in my opinion, was an understanding of tweaking your sound and creating a new wave of vibrations that was allowed to bring a fusion of soulful church service that you would feel on Sunday, a jazzy quartet that is playing some jazzy grooves, and a funky disco record that made a beautiful groovy tune that is played on the dance floors of the famous places such as the Warehouse, the Music Box, Smart Bar, and it was carried to the school parties and the house parties that were brought and built by the amazing DJs and promoters in the South Side Chicago. So to this day, the sound reigns in the streets of Chicago, and I was beautifully amazed by the way how beautifully it sounds from almost every corner that you go. You would hear house music. It is amazing. And this is why I was driven to the city as a DJ to live my life and be a part of what it is to be in the definition of house music. And it means a lot to me, and it meant a lot to me to grow in Chicago as a DJ and a producer. While speaking and listening to the sound of every legend in Chicago, I can agree that soulfulness that Chicago brings you is home. And with that soulfulness and soulful feeling, you cannot find it in New York, Detroit, or any city in the world. Chicago house music legends have created a passionate community of music lovers around the world, and I would like to say thank you. What is modern Chicago house music? And what has changed during the last 20 to 25 years? The sound of Chicago is everlasting, and it will never be replicated or duplicated. In the past 20 to 25 years of growth and musical evolution of house music has been exponential and inspiring, because we can take a look from the biggest clubs to radio stations to venues and establishments from Miami, London, Ibiza, Sydney, and what unifies all of them? Just one thing. It is house music. And house music is a celebration of quality dance music that has evolved from the underground raves of Chicago that were brought to you by the legends such as Derek Carter, Terry Hunter, Julius TheMad Thinker, Rasul, Paul Johnson, the Chosen Few DJ. Wow, this is just astonishing just to even think about all of the legends that I had an opportunity to be with. And I am also very fascinated by the power and the joy that it helps us to all share with each other. This is why I would love for all of you to take a moment and listen to some of the old school classics that have been evolved and shaped into the landscape of the world that we live today. And I'm an avid music lover who has crate digging technique that looks for the new sound and evolutions and the original sound of different producers from all over the world. And it helps me to pass on a message of love and gratitude while being a connoisseur of a particular taste that has evolved from Chicago. It also raises funds via charitable organization and makes an impact on people's lives, on our human race as a whole. So think about it, on how deep the power of the music is. And I just want to leave and finish this message with the fact that I am going to share a musical element that we have created, and we had an opportunity to create a musical joint showcase at the Mid Chicago, and this was the birthplace of my United in House radio show. And we created a United in House musical compilation with DJs such as Timothy, Soldier, and more. And I would like to invite you to listen to it. I'm gonna drop it in the links in the comments below, so check it out, give me your feedback. Thank you very much. Thank you everyone who is listening to this, and share the love to house music, and you guys are amazing. Thank you for your time and attention.